MUFON stops taking calls at 4:30. This video is about MUFON basically, so I'm gonna go off the cuff. So what I did was I put a call into MUFON, because if you guys not aware of it, thank you Osvaldo Franco for bringing it to me again. I really appreciate that. MUFON's director of research, Chris Cogswell, he resigned, wrote a nice letter about why he resigned and everything. And the reason why he resigned because of Mr. John Ventre. If you guys remember last May, John Ventre was called out for some of the racist things he had tweeted, he had put out there, and said personally he was highly upset, and he was saying some wild things going off the cuff. You know, I'll get back into them later, but MUFON has supposedly distanced themselves from this guy, and they stopped working with him, and he was no longer head of, I believe, their Pennsylvania chapter, and so-called people thought he was done. So Chris Cogswell came in. He's their new director of research, and after a few months, they were doing a symposium, and he found out that the whole symposium was put on by John Ventre. So Chris Cogswell has formally resigned, excuse me. He has formally resigned, left a letter, and said, here it go, and this is why. And at one point, MUFON, you as a network, does an employee's conduct become detrimental to you as a whole, as an entity? We got disclosure upon us. Things are popping out. We know that you're one of the leaders, that you should be one of the leaders. You've been doing this for a while, but when you're still having ties, how much distance is enough distance? You know, nobody's calling so far for this guy's head to be put on a chopping block. But if you're losing stand-up people because of your close ties to someone like this, it's like, when does someone's conduct become so detrimental that you have to distance yourself further? If he gave you an ultimatum, or you knew why, you should have said, hey, hold on. This would be the last time, or I don't know how you should have ran your business. That's up to you, but at one point, and I mean, you know, nobody's perfect, but some of the things he said was just silly, about blacks not doing nothing, and white man did it all, and blacks didn't even have a calendar or time, or knew how to keep time or count before the white man brought it to Africa, and just, or Europeans, just silly. Just silly. I'm sure Africans was waking up wondering what day it was until the Europeans brought their calendar. They had no idea. No, they had no idea. You know, I guess that's why they're not into football. They couldn't tell when Sunday was. You know, just dumb shit. If you really think, if he really thinks that's true, that go to show what type of guy he is. I'm not attacking the guy. I'm just going to attack some of the things he said. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. We all know about the Sumerians and ancient Mesopotamia and all this stuff, how all these beautiful things come out of there, these writing systems, these, what's the name, ways of keeping dates and times and all this stuff. If you don't think none of that stuff trickled down to Egyptians, if you don't think none of that stuff trickled down to sub-Saharan Africa and all this shit, you're crazy. But enough about that. But what it's about is that if you know that someone is willing to say things so silly publicly, at one point do you say, you know what, we're a network and we have a mission statement, we're trying to move forward, especially now, everybody see the ball rolling, everybody see what's going on, disclosure is upon us. And if you're having employees leave because of this guy, seems like this is the second time this same guy is causing you some problems. At what point did you distance yourself and say, hey, you know what, maybe we got to do something about this? So at 4:30 actually, they stopped taking calls my time. I put a call in, no response. I put an email in, no response. No knock on them. I'm sure their hands are full. You know, I'll give you a way out again. I'm sure your ways are full. And if they do return my calls or my email, I will be sure to come let you guys know. I'll come right back, make another video and let you know what it is. But it's just that at what point do you say, hey, you know what, we got to do something about this? Because you seem to be losing good people. At least he's a good judge of character. I mean, he left, he resigned, he let us know why. That's a stand-up guy. A lot of people don't have the courage of their convictions. I'm sure he's not the only guy in MUFON to know about this guy. He's just probably the first to let us know and to be proactive about it. You know, so we got to give a hand clap for Chris Cogswell, because this is a stand-up guy. In a time where stand-up guys aren't, you know, I know we have a lot of things, this so-called disclosure. Well, this guy is disclosing to us, hey, MUFON ain't got all they together. Not just yet. They still have some issues and they still have some things. And what trips us out, and a lot of people, I'm reading my comments, what Franco commented to me, is that this is supposed to be an inclusive topic. We're talking about otherworldly things, phenomenology, and aliens. We're not trying to isolate nobody, no group or nothing. This is such an inclusive subject right here that you don't want to have nobody with narrow-minded thoughts. And it befuddles me that, you know, to hear him talk, and I'm sure he believes in others, but, you know, you have a problem with blacks and whatever. That's just crazy. People that, it just befuddles me sometimes, the racism thing. People will actually form whole groups to hate another. You know what I mean? It's silly what people get organized with. You know what I'm saying? If you have that time and energy to organize a hate group, I hope your kids are getting good grades and so are your neighbors, because you should be organizing that time to help the youth around you so that way they can be better. You know how power is, somebody that has power is real powerful when he delegates that authority and makes the whole team stronger. So if you're sitting there handing your knowledge down to the young ones, that's great. If you're sitting there forming a group and teaching them how to hate, we're not getting nowhere. And especially if you're involved with an inclusive topic like this. You know, so again, Mr. Chris Cogswell, man, appreciate you being the stand-up guy and doing that right there. MUFON, get your shit together. You know what I mean? Mr. John Ventre, I wish you the best. Be a little more open-minded. You know what I mean? At least me personally, I don't hate you. I don't hate nobody. People be coming in with the silly shit. I don't hate you because when you start to hate like your enemies, you act just like them. So I try to come at it with a little bit of different ways. Not going to let you harm me at all. But, you know what I'm saying? I got no time to hate on you. So I wish you the best. And at this time, let's send MUFON some positive vibes. Get your shit together, MUFON. We're looking to you as a leader. We love what you do, the symposiums you put on, the things you do. We watch it. We're out there checking you out. You know, and the title of my email to them was, I come in peace. I'm not here to bash you and ask you why this, that. The title of my email to MUFON was simply, I come in peace. Just want to ask you guys, at what point does someone's conduct become detrimental to your mission statement, to what you're trying to do as a whole? We're trying to have disclosure, not exclusion. You know, so, man, thank you guys again. Big shout out to my listeners. Osvaldo, I can't say enough about you, brother. Really appreciate that. All you guys, appreciate it. I got more videos to come. Sometimes I dive my head in the book so much that I don't take time to come out to breathe. So I'm almost finished. My Kindle Fire is telling me I have 40-something minutes left in this book. So I should be finished with that. Bring you guys another great article. Another great book. This book is really good. It's The World of UFOs, Hidden from Disclosure. Forgot the name of it right now, but let's send some positive vibes out there to MUFON. I hope they get this shit together, because they will be, should be, and are going to be one of these leaders in this new coming age of disclosure. So we don't wish bad on you and you either, Mr. John Ventre. Get your shit together. Open up your mind, man. Open it up. It's okay. It's okay. Keep your hate to a minimum. Don't pass it on to nobody. Nobody's perfect. All right, you guys, that's been another one. Appreciate you for listening. Appreciate for all the information. Shout outs to everybody. If you guys have a chance, let me know who you are. Hit me up on Twitter at DAVBOI75. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, have a good one. I'm out.